The way you spend your first 60 minutes determines the next 23 hours. Most people hand those 60 minutes to their phone, to noise, to other people's priorities. The Stoics did the opposite, and it made them unstoppable. This is how you master your morning and rule your entire day. The way you spend your first 60 minutes determines the next 23 hours. Most people hand those 60 minutes to their phone, to noise, to other people's priorities. The Stoics did the opposite, and it made them unstoppable. This is how you master your morning and rule your entire day. Stay with me, because what comes next will change how you wake up forever. Marcus Aurelius was the most powerful man in the ancient world. He commanded the Roman Empire, millions of people, endless war, endless pressure. And yet every single morning, before he gave 1 minute to his empire, he gave time to himself. He wrote in his private journal. He prepared his mind. He set his intention. That morning practice, done daily without fail, is what made him extraordinary. Here is the first Stoic morning rule. Wake up with purpose, not with comfort. Marcus Aurelius wrote these exact words to himself each morning, at dawn. When you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I am going to do what I was born for? The Stoics did not wait to feel motivated. They commanded themselves to rise. Most people wait to feel ready. They wait for energy. They wait for the perfect morning. But the Stoics understood something deeply important. The feeling of readiness follows action. It never precedes it. Every morning you stay in bed negotiating with yourself, you are training your mind to be weak. Every morning you rise before you feel like it, you are training your mind to be powerful. The choice happens before you are fully awake. The second Stoic morning rule is this: feed your mind before the world feeds it for you. The Stoics called this prasoche, deliberate self-attention. Before you check your phone, before you read the news, before you open any app, you direct your own thoughts. You decide what enters your mind first. Because whatever enters first sets the emotional tone for everything that follows. Most people never control this. The Stoics made it a non-negotiable daily practice. Epictetus taught that the most important battle of the day happens in the first 5 minutes after waking. Before your conscious mind is fully active, your emotional state is being shaped. If the first thing you see is outrage, comparison, or distraction, that is the lens through which your brain processes the entire day. But if the first thing you give yourself is silence, intention, or Stoic wisdom, you have already won before the day begins. The third rule, practice Premeditatio Malorum every single morning. Marcus Aurelius did this without exception. He would begin each morning by mentally preparing for difficulty. He would tell himself, today I will meet ungrateful people, difficult situations, unexpected setbacks. And then he would ask, how will the wisest version of me respond? This practice did not make him pessimistic. It made him completely unshakable when hard things actually arrived. Here is why this matters for your life right now. When you expect friction, friction loses its power over you. When you assume your morning will be smooth, the first obstacle feels like a sign that something is wrong, that you should quit, that today is not your day. But when you have already mentally met that obstacle at 6 in the morning, when it appears at 10, at noon, at 3, it is already familiar. You handle it. You move forward. The fourth Stoic morning rule, journal before you do anything else. Not a diary, a disciplined tool. Every morning Marcus Aurelius asked himself 3 precise questions. What is within my control today? What do I want to accomplish? Not wish, accomplish. And what kind of person do I need to be today to make that happen? 3 questions, 5 minutes. That single practice aligned his mind, his values, and his actions before a single external demand was made of him. The Meditations, the most famous Stoic text in history, was Marcus Aurelius talking to himself every morning, holding himself accountable, reminding himself of what mattered. He was the emperor of Rome, and he still wrote to himself each morning like a student who had everything to learn. That humility, that daily recommitment, is exactly what separated him from every other ruler of his era. Journaling is not soft. It is how the greatest men in history prepared for war. The fifth rule: practice voluntary discomfort in the morning. Seneca wrote, "Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest food, with rough and coarse attire, saying to yourself all the while, 'Is this the condition I so feared?' This is not about suffering. It is about proving to yourself every single morning that comfort does not own you, that you are stronger than the easy choice." In practice, this looks like a cold shower. It looks like skipping the comfortable breakfast for something simple. It looks like sitting in silence instead of reaching for noise. Every act of voluntary discomfort in the morning trains one specific belief: I am capable of hard things. And that belief, built in the morning, carries through every difficult decision you face for the rest of the day. Comfort is a habit. So is discipline. Choose which one you practice first. The sixth Stoic morning rule: move your body before your mind gets consumed. The Stoics were not sedentary philosophers. Marcus Aurelius was a warrior. Cato walked barefoot through Rome in all weather. Seneca swam in cold rivers. They understood that a disciplined body produces a disciplined mind, not the other way around. When you move your body in the morning with intention, not habit, you signal to your system that today is a day of action, not drift. The seventh rule: read one thing that challenges you. Not entertainment, not scrolling. One deliberate piece of Stoic wisdom, philosophy, or serious thought. Seneca wrote to his friend Lucilius, "Each day acquire something that will fortify you against poverty, against death, against other misfortunes as well." He was talking about wisdom, collected deliberately, one piece at a time. The Stoics were ferocious readers. Every morning they added one more tool to their mental arsenal. This does not require an hour, 5 minutes. One page of Marcus Aurelius, one quote from Epictetus, one letter from Seneca. Read it slowly. Think about what it means for your life today. Ask yourself, where does this principle apply to what I am facing right now? That question transforms passive reading into active mental training. Over weeks and months, this builds a mind that thinks more clearly, more calmly, and more powerfully than almost anyone around you. The eighth and final Stoic morning rule: set one clear intention for the day. Not a list of 20 tasks, one intention. One answer to the question, what is the most important thing I can do today that aligns with the person I am trying to become? Marcus Aurelius did not manage an empire through chaos. He managed it through ruthless clarity about what mattered most. Each morning he knew his purpose, and that clarity made every decision that followed simpler, faster, and stronger. Now here is what most people get wrong about morning routines. They try to do everything at once. They build a 2-hour ritual and collapse after 3 days. The Stoics were not perfectionists. They were consistent. Marcus Aurelius did not have a perfect morning every day. He was running an empire during plague and war, but he showed up every morning with intention. 5 minutes of Stoic journaling done daily for a year beats a perfect 2-hour routine done for a week. The enemy of the Stoic morning is not laziness. It is what Seneca called the drift, the slow, comfortable, daily surrender to whatever happens to you instead of deciding what happens. Most people drift through their mornings, phone first, coffee while scrolling, reacting to the world before they have even decided who they are today. The Stoic morning is the opposite of drift. It is intention. It is the daily act of taking ownership of your mind before anyone else can claim it. Let me give you the complete Stoic morning in 5 minutes. Rise immediately, no negotiation. Sit in silence for 2 minutes, no phone. Write 3 sentences. What is in my control? What do I want to accomplish? Who do I need to be? Read 1 Stoic quote. Do 1 act of voluntary discomfort, cold water or silence. Move your body for 5 minutes. Set your 1 intention. That is it. That is the morning that builds an unshakable life. Here is your first step. Tonight, before you sleep, put your phone on the other side of the room. Tomorrow morning when the alarm goes off, do not pick it up. Sit up, take 3 deep breaths. Open a notes app and write one sentence. What is in my power today? That is your Stoic morning. That is where it starts. Do that one thing for 7 days straight and watch what begins to shift. Drop in the comments, how do you currently start your morning? I read every single one.